For Africa to achieve its development objectives as underscored in Agenda 2063, the participation of all African citizens within the continent and in the diaspora is paramount. The Citizens and Diaspora Directorate, CIDO, is the department responsible for leading the African Union's engagement with non-state actors in the diaspora and African civil society. The activities are implemented by two divisions of the department, the Diaspora Division and the Civil Society Division.
Mainly after the collapse of the socialism in Eastern and Central Europe, now the voice of the non-state actors began to be heard. So the organization of African Unity has to address, to attend, to respond to this such global changes. So now we come to AU. AU is all about people. If you look at Constitutive Act, now we introduce ourselves as AU as people-centered, people-driven, and people-focused organization.
The Constitutive Act of the African Union recognizes the important role the African diaspora has to play in the development of the continent and states that the Union will invite and encourage the full participation of the African diaspora as an important part of our continent in the building of the African Union. The African Union, in its definition of the diaspora, applies the following criteria: bloodline and/or heritage, people living outside the continent whose ancestral roots or heritage are in Africa; migration, people of African heritage who migrated from or are living outside the continent. In this context, three trends of migration were identified: pre-slave trade, and post-slave trade or modern migration. The principle of inclusiveness. The definition must embrace both ancient and modern diaspora. The commitment to the African cause. People who are willing to be part of the continent or the African family.
The best way to engage the diaspora is to engage them into Pan-African networks. So what we do is we go to these networks, to these regions outside, and we have three regions. Americas and the Caribbean is one region, Europe as a second region, and then east of the continent, Middle East, Asia, and Oceania as the third region. What we try to do, we try to see where the diasporas are in large numbers. That's the first thing. And then we try to see whether there are organizations, and there are usually organizations, professional organizations, organizations around nationality, organizations around faith, and we try to bring them together into something bigger, into a Pan-African network. And that is something that is not easy. It's hard to let go of your organization and belong to something bigger. But isn't this what the African Union is about? What we did is it's a union of member states. In the different regions, it's a union of these countries, East region, West, Central, North, and South. So we tell them that it is hard, but it gives you a lot of power. Some of those are doing this better than others. In Europe, because maybe it's historic, it's been there for a long time, the diasporas are well organized over there, and they have elections between them, and they have networks that we recognize.
Public participation is a fundamental requirement if Africa is to achieve Aspiration 1 of Agenda 2063 for a prosperous Africa based on inclusive growth and sustainable development. Civil society organizations play a key role in ensuring public awareness and involvement in national and Africa's development agenda, and they include social groups, professional groups, non-governmental organizations, NGOs, community-based organizations, CBOs, and voluntary organizations, cultural organizations, social and professional organizations in the African diaspora. To ensure effective engagement with civil society, the Economic, Social, and Cultural Council ECOSOC, provides a platform through which the African Union can engage with African civil society organizations. ECOSOC, which is comprised of different social and professional groups, plays an advisory role ensuring that there is a two-way communication between the African Union and African citizens by facilitating a common understanding between the mandates and programs for the Union and providing recommendations based on the perspectives of civil society. ECOSOC also plays a key role in contributing towards the implementation of the various African Union charters and treaties that promote human rights, the rule of law, good governance, democratic principles, gender equality, and the rights of children.
Now we are talking about the partnership between the governments and the AU members and the civil society. And let me use these wider non-state actors, including civil society. From civil society, you can get the experts, you can get researchers and practitioners. So to recognize, to admit that the civil society can play a significant role, they have to come through this. One of our roles to play is to act like, let us say, a gate, a bridge between the government and civil society. So we have many from them. We have a role for trade union, all professional groups, and then youth, religion-based organization, and all segments of civil society.
Aspiration 5 of Agenda 2063 envisions an Africa with a strong cultural identity, common heritage, shared values and ethics. The Encyclopedia Africana is one of the flagship projects of Agenda 2063 that aims to promote this aspiration by providing an authoritative resource on the authentic history of Africa and African life. The encyclopedia will provide Africans a body of truth to guide and unite them in their development with foundations in all aspects of the African life, including history, legal, economic, religion, architectural, and educational, as well as the systems and practices of African societies. The Encyclopedia Africana will act as an ultimate guide, providing an African worldview of the people, culture, literature, and history of Africa, and is a key tool to be used to educate, inform, and set the records straight regarding the history, culture, and contributions of African people throughout the world. Find out more about Agenda 2063 and the work of the African Union in promoting Africa's diaspora and civil society engagement by visiting www.au.int.